Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about bowling. Bowling is a wonderful sport, a sport that is easy enough to play that you can take with you throughout your whole lifetime. Today we're going to get into the very basics of how to play the game, as well as some specific techniques you can leverage to do well. Let's begin with how the game itself is played. As a game, bowling is a perfect example of easy to learn, hard to master. The basic thing of the game is that you have 10 attempts with 2 tries in each attempt to hit as many pins as possible to get the highest score you can to win the game, or do as well as you can if you're not against an opponent. The only way to do this is to roll a ball down a lane at a series of 10 pins. You can't step over the foul line, meaning you can't enter the lane, but other than that, you could do practically anything. But be wary. There are gutters at the side of the alley that'll catch the ball and make it such that you win exactly 0 points for that round. Alright, let's talk about scoring now, shall we? Scoring in bowling is a little bit complicated. Essentially, it works like this. See those 2 little holes above, or rather under the one next to player 1? Those are the spaces you have to put the points that you get at the end of each round of bowling. Essentially, you're going to roll the ball, and the first try, you're going to write down the score you get. So if it's 5, you put down 5. And then when you do it again, you put down whatever you get the next time. So if you get 2, you put down 2. And then you add those together to get 7. Then, it gets a little bit more complicated if you knock down all the pins. If you do it in the first try, knocking down all 10 pins, you get something called a strike, and you put an X. Then, the next time you bowl, the next 2 times, you add the 2 scores from that frame to the first frame in addition to that frame. So if I, for instance, score 7 in a frame after I previously scored a strike, I'm going to get 7 in that frame as well as 17 in the frame prior. Now, a spare is basically the same, except you've knocked down all pins on your second try. What you do here is that you do the same thing as a strike, except it only applies to the first try of the frame immediately following the spare. You add up all your points, all the frames at the end to get your total, and that decides your score for the game. Let's get into some techniques on how you can do bowling really well. There are a fair many considerations that need to be made when picking your equipment. Some things you're going to need are a good pair of bowling shoes, that way you can properly slide across the floor. Next, you're going to need a bowling ball. Now, the type of bowling ball you're going to need is based off of the grip that I'm going to tell earlier. And then you also need to pick the weight of the ball. For someone around the age of 15, you're going to want to look into something that's 10 to 15 pounds, on the lower end if you're a girl, and on the higher end if you're a guy. If you're an adult, you can go beyond that weight range, but what you're really looking for is good control of the ball. And the next, all you're going to need is a bowling alley. Now, let's talk about those grips. There are 2 main grips in bowling. The conventional grip used by beginners, where you put all fingers into the second knuckle so you can release the ball easier, and it gives you more control if you're a beginner. The next is the fingertip grip, where you only go up to the first knuckle and it's more spread out. For these, you need to get a custom bowling ball made just for you. You should be using the conventional grip if you're a beginner, but the fingertip grip is great if you're advanced because it gives you more leverage over the ball. The key to good bowling oftentimes is the approach, or how you walk up to the line, so that way you can gain as much momentum before rolling the ball. To do this, place the ball in your dominant hand with your right leg back, if you're right-handed of course, and then you take 4 steps forward. The 4 steps are kind of complicated to explain, so I just have video of me doing it here. There were a couple other things I was doing in that video. One of those things is aim. As you can see, I was aiming for the pocket, which is just left of pin 1. Now, you do this by aiming just right of the middle pin. I was also doing something called follow through. 2 last important things I was doing there that are worth mentioning is release. With the release, you want to release the lowest apex of the curve. As well, I was following through, throwing my hand straight up in the air in the direction that I was aiming, so that way the ball rolled true. Anyways, that's all. Thanks for watching.